Welcome back to our conversation with the chairman of the Massachusetts Democratic Party, Gus Bickford. Gus, Charlie Baker continues to rack up very strong job approval numbers. They're eroding a little bit over backlash from pandemic restrictions, but they're still, by any standard, sky high. Most recently, his numbers are better among members of your party than they are among his own party. What does that tell you about what people want in the corner office?
It tells me that they're not focused on the actual management that Charlie Baker is putting forward. And I've mentioned this before. Once Charlie Baker doesn't have the cover of Donald Trump, just people believing that he's against Donald Trump, that he didn't vote for Donald Trump, once there is a Biden-Harris administration in office and they're putting forward proposals so that we can stem greenhouse gases and and really the war on climate change, and so that we can continue to provide universal health care or getting close to universal health care. Charlie's going to actually have to react to those things. And that will not be popular amongst the public because Donald Trump has taken the oxygen out of the newscast, and Charlie Baker's been able to get away without us focusing on the failures of his transportation system, which he had a devastating report against his administration in December of 2019. We also he's got an F rating when it comes to the environment, and we recently saw that we are now the second behind California when it comes to fighting greenhouse gases. So you're going to see a reckoning for him that people are actually going to begin to focus on his management and find out that he's actually not that great a manager.
Well, you can't beat someone with no one. With all due respect to the two fine gentlemen who ran in 2018, what's it going to take? They were not, well, they were unknowns, relatively. What's it going to take to persuade a well-known statewide figure to challenge Baker if he runs again, or is that even what you want?
Well, it's already begun. So I absolutely, we are going to have a great candidate. We're going to have a couple of great candidates. And, the fact that we actually have first named person who's seriously looking at the race and Professor Allen, we have Charlie Baker's numbers as positives going down. We've got a number of different individuals who will be able to work with the proposals that are put out by the Biden-Harris administration. And that's just, it's not going to be popular for Charlie Baker to have the laissez-faire type, the Pioneer Institute, smaller government is better type when we need more revenues. The devastation that the Trump administration has caused to America, to our standing in across the world, and what has happened with our environmental regulations, Charlie's going to have to react to that, and it won't be popular.
Is Maura Healey making any of the early moves that a likely candidate would make normally?
Maura Healey is doing exactly what she should be doing as Attorney General. I think that we talk about the governor, but we've got 3 sheriff's races, 3 Republican sheriffs that we're going to be focused on in Plymouth and Barnstable, and specifically Bristol. And you saw yesterday or 2 days, this past week, where she took on the Bristol County Sheriff and his overreaction and unlawful enforcement of the ICE detainees in his prison. And that's what she should be doing. She should be bringing those things to light, because he is a Trumpster in the state. And he didn't defend himself, by the way. When you look at how he stood up the next day after he was accused of this, all he did was attack Maura Healey, which is just such a Trump way of doing things. We will get back to facts. We will get back to principles. And, we will have people leading like Maura Healey who are going to point out that, we are better than this.
Well, look, Gus, the Republicans gather next month to elect the next party chairman. We'll see who winds up being there. Perhaps they'll be willing to come out of their cave and appear here. Are you up for a little mini debate with your Republican counterpart if that happens?
Absolutely. I always enjoy debating the issues, and I care deeply about what we do as Democrats and what we stand for, and so I always find it easy to debate those issues.